square to Gay. Lacroix lost it to Joelinton. Isak surely! Isak! Yes! This time, Alexander Isak gets his goal. Newcastle forcing an error from Palace, just what they did to Manchester United on Sunday afternoon. And it's now 5, and Isak has 25 this season.
Yeah, delighted with the performance. We spoke before the game about being consistent and delivering a performance similar to the one that we delivered against Manchester United the weekend. But tonight I felt we was better, and full credit to the lads for that.
So, 6 wins in a row and a thumping 5-0 victory over Crystal Palace last night. Steve, they probably were better than they were against Manchester United, but even if you take that kind of comparison out of the equation, they were just fantastic last night in Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely devastating form. It kind of reminded me the first half of Spurs when I played Tottenham, and absolutely dismantled them. And I was a little bit wary of Crystal Palace because they have got players that can hurt you. It's obviously the front players, and Eze being one of them. But it 1-0 and then they get the penalty. I mean, it is. Let's be honest, it's an awful penalty. Not only does it have pace, but it's right close to Pope. So unless he's dove early and dove the wrong way, it is an easy save. I probably could have saved it, but fair play to him. He still saved it. But the way that, again, it's just that pressure, the sort of nastiness, and the aggression to get them, shut them down, not let them breathe. But also when they attack with pace and power. And I thought they did that. And come half time, you would have thought that the Crystal Palace players would be in the dressing room thinking, when is this going to be over?
And it was over about, completely over about 10 minutes into the second half when, the chances of Palace scoring 4 in the second half were very, very small to begin with, but you just make absolutely sure. With Isak's goal, and we'll hear a bit from Jason Tindall in a minute or two, and one of those clips is talking about Alexander Isak. But the irony of the VAR taking so long, and it was an awful length of time again, to decide on that penalty, was that it provided the 7.5, 8 minutes of injury time at the end of the first half in which Newcastle scored twice.
Well, I suppose the swings and roundabouts of it, and if you want to look at it that way, I suppose if you want to put a positive note on it, you can say that. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of the two games. I'm flicking between the two of them last night. So obviously the Arsenal Real Madrid game was on. They had a similar one as well, where it took for absolute ever with the Rice and Mbappe thing, like the Newcastle one was. And yeah, you just sometimes, and look, we can call the fact of it does take long, but you want them to take the time to get the right decision. What you don't want them to do is to sort of take ages and then call it wrong. So listen, it's difficult. I do know what it's like because, as I said, I think I said on the show the other week, I went down to Stockley Park and we had to see with the new VAR system and how it works and stuff like that. And it is difficult because the Premier League do not get every angle. So just say that Sky got different angles. The other sports companies that were playing the game, they've got other ones as well. And plus as well, they've got between 10 and 15 people working on all these angles. In the Premier League in Stockley Park, they've got 2. So it is going to take time. And as I said, not only is it going to take time, they don't get everything until sometimes the decision's being made. And then a new angle comes in and you go, oh my Lord, we got that wrong.
Yeah.
So I can semi-understand it a little bit.
I think, and I don't intend to really take up much of this show with a VAR discussion, but just on the back of what you've said there, I think for a lot of people, and I include myself because I was fortunate enough to be not just at the game last night, but also with a monitor in front of me, so I was at least able to see some replays. The rest of the fans are just standing about, wondering what on earth is going on. But it's the watching of the same replay over and over and over again by the VAR before they ask the referee to come to the monitor, and then after they do that as well. That's what I think it feels take an awful long time. And if something's not clear